episode of Rift News, the show you decided to watch because Riot keeps revealing more and more new things and you can't be bothered looking anything up. This time around, even though we normally don't cover esports, we will have to summarize the World Championship. And we'll have a look at some of the hidden teasers in the newest animated videos. So without further ado, let's get on it. Since we are running a channel that is mostly based on lore of League of Legends, let's start there. First of all, I need to address a couple of things in regards to the video where we covered the official timeline of Runeterra. When we released that video, I was happy that I would finally have a 100% canon video, summarizing the basics of League's universe. I was happy I would finally have a video I wouldn't have to update months later. So you can imagine how I felt when the same day we released it, a certain member of the narrative team unintentionally made a hole in that video. Remember how I explained that the massive crater next to Noxus was likely what remained of Ryze's homeland? Because literally every part of his story hinted towards it? For example, location descriptions matched, the fact that it was Noxian land matched, and even the Ryze cinematic reproduced the scene in which his home blew up. A scene where he's standing on a mountain located next to his home, watching his home city being destroyed from a distance. A mountain that was shown on the map, presumably next to his home as it is supposed to be. Well, all this setup and payoff was instantly vaporized with a single tweet incarnation of Thanos. In other words, unless Riot changes their minds, and please do, this crater doesn't have any history and it is just the result of tectonic movement. You know, the stuff they teach you at school instead of teaching you how to deal with Texas. But this was just the first thing that came from the timeline video. The second thing I wanted to correct is in the story of Freljord. Remember how I was confused about the explanation of what happened with the Watchers and Lissandra? Well, Lissandra herself is still a bit confusing when it comes to the construction of the bridge. Her bio still doesn't match Tales of Ornn, where the three sisters constructed the bridge. But it was pointed out to me that there is a way how to explain the misalignment of the events. Lissandra's bio says that she froze the Watchers and her sisters in one fell swoop, while the book says that the three sisters worked together to defeat the old gods of Freljord, and after that they turned on each other and Lissandra froze them. Well, this can be explained if we assume that the old gods of Freljord are not the Watchers. They are the Freljordian demigods. When I was writing that video, I thought about that possibility. But I didn't think it would be possible because only Lissandra opposed Volibear in her story. The other sisters respected the demigods, and Ornn even helped them construct the bridge, so there would be no reason to fight them. With that said, I totally forgot about the fact that in the story called The Eye in the Abyss, Ornn was referred to as an old god. Which hints towards the fact that the canon version of the story is that the three sisters fought the demigods, for one reason or another, and then they dealt with the Watchers. This means that unfortunately I'll have to make a better version of that video in the future. But for now, just know that there are other ways to explain the Freljordian timeline. But still, we got no real confirmation as to what happened there. Moral of the story, covering the story of a living world is hard when everything is open to speculation. So now, let's move on to something less depressing than my own mistakes. Since Senna finally appeared on live servers, Riot released her color story, and as a result, because we finally got all the pieces of her story, we were able to put together a complete summary of the story of Thresh, Senna and Lucian. November also marked the official release of Realms of Runeterra. This means that if you already pre-ordered the book, you will receive it at any moment. The last lore-related thing is that Riot teased some images from Zed's comic. This is going to be the third comic series after Ashe and Lux. All of these images show Zed after he took over the Kinko Monastery, which means that it is after he embraced the shadows. In the first image he can already summon shadow clones. In the second image we can see Shen fighting back either a shadow or a demon. Because remember, Shen's job is to kill both men and demons to balance out both the physical and the spirit realm. But in the last image we can see Zed with his full squad of elite followers. You can see Kayn, someone who's very reminiscent of Vayne. I mean, look, she even has glasses. But I don't know what Vayne would be even doing here. Then there is a character called Joven Tau. This was confirmed to be the person on the cover art. We know it's him because he has the same hooked blades. But spoiler alert, I think that Joven Tau will be killed by this person, who I assume is Ren Shadowblade. I think this because Ren Shadowblade can be found in Legends of Runeterra, and there he's holding the hooked blades of Joven Tau. The other two people in this picture are unknown to us, unless I missed them in Legends of Runeterra. The last thing to note here is that the cover art also pictures Jhin. so we can assume at least one of the chapters will focus on our favorite madman. That is it for the lore. So now, let's have a look at what is happening on live servers. When it comes to Summoner's Rift, all the true damage skins of champions that don't actually deal true damage got released. And with them we got all the true damage little legends, and some true damage loot. Speaking of which, if you are interested, we'll have an opening video on our second channel. But of course, the true damage skins are connected to the true damage hip hop band that was showcased during this year's Worlds. Honestly, it was incredible how well Riot used the same technology that brings Hatsume Miku into real life. Riot used glass panels in front of the audience to reflect light and create the illusion of holograms. And when combined with real-life performers behind the glass, you could achieve clever effects such as the singer using Lissandra's claw, Echo teleporting around the stage, and Irelia's blades literally murdering a dancer live on stage. A clever detail during the show that a lot of people didn't catch is that during the live performance of Awaken, Riot replicated the scene from Camille's entrance. That's pretty much the highlights of that performance. But before we go away from Worlds, we should also mention the outcome of the tournament. Europe didn't win, which means that we will get skins with a lot of fire all around. Also, after it was over, Carlos dropped like 8 F-bombs during the live interview. I would like to joke that this is why esports don't get big corporate sponsors, but they might legitimately take the cupcase away. Either way, this is it for the Worlds and live servers. Usually, PBE would be packed with loads of new content, but this time around we only got 2 new things, with some smaller things sprinkled around. First of all, Victorious Aatrox is being tested, and he didn't change at all. At least the Chroma version was also revealed. The second thing on PBE is Pulsefire Thresh, which is the Thresh skin that was teased to have a prestige version. So if you are still hoarding your tokens, this might be a good spend. A lot of people jokingly mentioned that Pulsefire Thresh looks a little bit like Mechanized Bird, and I have to agree. But I don't think that's a bad thing, honestly. This skin is really good. It's just shame that Thresh already has other, arguably better skins with a lot of fire all around, that players can use instead. But if you don't own a cool Thresh skin, I'd be satisfied with this one. Better yet, the Prestige version is also pretty good. I understand that Pulsefire Thresh was revealed in the same window as the new Terminator, because story-wise, being a time-walking machine hunting down Ezreal definitely sounds like a movie reference. But unlike the new Terminator, Pulsefire Thresh doesn't actually corrode the original. Both versions are equally cool, they just look different. So again, if you are not sure how to spend your tokens or prestige points, this might be a good choice. Besides these 2 skins, we also got a clump of icons prepared for the next patch. These cute ones are usually used in the Blue Essence Emporium. And hey, this time there's also Bard. But besides these, we also got new icons for the ranked rewards. And unlike it was last year, this time you can clearly tell which region each rank is based on. And huge props to Riot for actually tying the ranks to regions. We got Bilgewater for Iron, Zoon for Bronze, Piltover for Silver, Shurima for Gold, Ionia for Platinum, Targon for Diamond, Sapphire for Divinity, Void for Master, Noxus for Grandmaster, and Demacia for Challenger. Notice that we only get 3 icons, one for solo queue, flex, and twisted tree line. So if you are like me and you mainly focused on TFT, too bad, no icon for you. Funnily enough, we know TFT will get more ranked rewards later. But as of right now, even Twisted Treeline gets more rewards. Granted, it is because there won't be any Twisted Treeliners next season. However, Riot revealed that when Twisted Treeline is finally disabled, because remember, Riot is removing the game mode next season, they will give veteran players special rewards depending on how many games you played. That is, how many you played before the announcement. So you can't just spam Twisted Treeline now to get all the rewards. If you played more than 10 games over the map's lifespan, you will get an exclusive icon. If you played over 50 games, you will get an exclusive emote. And if you played over 100 games, you will also get an extra limited icon on top of that. Any games, be it versus AI or PvP, will count towards these goals. But remember, they had to be played before the announcement. The only thing we don't know is if the old Twisted Treeline counts. Because some people like me played a lot of the old one way back in the day. Either way, if you want to see how many games you got, you'll have to use a third-party website to look up how many ranked games you have, and for normal games, all you have to do is play one match. And after you are finished, the client should show you how many wins and losses you have above the scoreboard. With that said, I managed to count about 43 games of the new Twisted Treeline. so I probably won't get the exclusive emote. And looking at the icons, that's probably the bad one. The last thing to note is that the last day you'll be able to play Twisted Tree Line is the 19th of November. Next, before we get onto all the interesting new teasers, we should quickly mention that the Louis Vuitton capsule collection, aka new merch designed by Louis Vuitton, is being teased on their website. The entire merch collection will be revealed on the 15th of November, but right now you can buy the launch piece, which is a True Damage hoodie. Other than that, Riot themselves have some basic True Damage merch. And now let's have a look at the True Damage music video. A lot of people may have missed it because they were watching Worlds, but during the live performance, Riot also released the music video for the song that's called Giants. It's a really well animated song that may not be as catchy as Popstar, but the artistic side definitely makes up for it. In other words, those of you who want a proper League anime will have even more reasons to want it. The interesting thing is that Riot hid some Easter eggs in the music video, and some of them are quite unusual. Every now and then you can find some KDA references. This was expected since True Damage takes place in the same universe as KDA, and Akali is the same person. But things get more interesting when you start noticing Prestige Senna flashing in the background. I've heard rumors that Riot is planning Prestige True Damage Senna skin for next year, and this Easter egg certainly seems to be backing it up. But besides Senna, Riot also managed to sneak in a person from a totally different place. Not even a different universe, we're talking about a different game. Because upon reviewing the teaser for Project A, which is Riot's upcoming first-person shooter, it is obvious that the person in the True Damage video is the ninja knife woman from Project A. In fact, this specific shot teases all of Riot's upcoming projects. We have Project A, Project L that shows Darius as the face of the fighting game, Arcane, Riot's upcoming animated series, and the last one is Jinx's wallpaper from Legends of Runeterra. We are only missing Wild Rift and Project F, but who's to say you wouldn't find them further down the elevator? If you'd like to check out all the Easter eggs in the music video, I will drop our Easter egg hunt on our second channel. As a fun bonus, Riot also released a TFT version of the True Damage reveal trailer. It's a parody version of the original. And just like the original had a minimalistic version of Echo ending the video, here we got a minimalistic version of Pengu. Legend has it that if you play the Pengu part backwards, and you slow it down by 600%, it reveals a secret message. Brush your teeth. Now, there are more things that I would like to talk about, including the fact that everything in Legends of Runeterra was confirmed to be canon. But this video is already too long, and I would rather split that into a separate video. So let's end this video with some news on Legends of Runeterra. Ever since that game was revealed, it was obvious that Riot knows what they are doing. They are aware that Magic the Gathering and Hearthstone are taking over the digital cards market, but that gives them the advantage. Riot knows what the players don't like, and they decided to address it. This became obvious to us when we learned that Riot is heavily focusing on not making the game pay to win. Sure, you can speed up your collecting process, but even there, Riot will limit the amount of advantage you can get, be it by limiting the amount of things you can buy with real money, or by giving players more cards for free. In fact, Riot is doing both to keep the environment competitive player friendly. Earlier this week, Riot revealed a post where they talk about their future plans for the card acquisition. They listened to the feedback from beta, and here is what's happening. Just by playing and completing daily quests, you'll be able to earn either capsules or chests. You will not be able to buy these with real money, because they don't want people to buy randomized packs. Should you wish to spend real money on Legends of Runeterra, you can only do it by buying specific cards. And even there is a hard limit on how many you can buy per week. Notice that both the capsules and chests have multiple rarities. These will upgrade depending on what level you are with a region, because don't forget in Legends of Runeterra you join a region and level it up, or you simply get better rewards the harder the daily quest was. The interesting thing is that any capsule or any chest has a chance to upgrade to higher tier, and the same goes for cards. On top of that, since you can only have 3 copies of a card in your deck, should you get more copies of the same card, they will be turned into shards, which you can use to buy other specific cards. However, if the card is epic quality or if it is a champion, you will just get a different card of the same value. So already, getting duplicates is way less painful than it is in other games. And since we mentioned leveling regions, Riot also gave us the complete list of all the things you can earn by leveling up a region. Notice that only the first 4 drops are cards. The rest are chests and capsules that will give you multiple drops. And remember, after you are done leveling up a region, or even while you are leveling up a region, you can swap teams and start working on the second region's rewards. So in reality, the free stuff you can get by leveling up a region is this list times 6, 1 progress route for each region. But then there is also the Vault. Each week you'll be able to level up your account to earn even more rewards. This feature was live during the preview patch, but Riot noticed that the players kept their levels quite early in the week. But instead of increasing the XP required to level up, they decided to raise the level cap from 10 to 13, giving people even more free stuff in the process. This is something I'm sure no other company would actually do. Most of the other games would just make the leveling slower. Overall, all these changes fill me with hope, because it really feels like Riot knows what they are doing. They are not in the business to hook people's wallets. They are releasing Legends of Runeterra to make a fun game. And with that is going to be it for today. I mean, we could also mention the fact that Riot already changed more than 40 cards for the next patch, that they are adding in game mode where you build a random pack similar to Hearthstone's Arena, and that if you pre-register to play now, you get a skin for your Poro. But honestly, all of that is meaningless to me because it got overshadowed by the fact that everything in Legends of Runeterra is canon to the story. Like, Riot, are you sure about this? Hey, did you know that we have social media and Twitch where we talk about other League facts and stories? And did you know that we have neat mugs and shirts too? The links to all of that will be below. And as always, thank you, come again.